It's football season. Listen in for the performance of the night, brought to you by Chick-fil-A, South Parkway, each Friday night with Scott Tyson on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This hour of The Drive is brought to you by Lynn Leighton Ford, located online at lynnleightonford.com. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Welcome to Mock Game Week. Yeah, that'll fire you up. It's Mock Game Week. Heard that quite a bit from quite a few coaches. Heard from Coach Prime earlier today. Got a little bit of audio from him on why his roster has so many Georgians on the Buffaloes roster. Also heard from Coach Golish, who named, we know the starting quarterback at Auburn, but the starting quarterback named at Alabama, starting quarterback named at Florida, starting quarterback named at Tennessee. So welcome to Mock Game Week, Wes.
Good to be here.
Absolutely. It's good to catch up. Yeah, I've got you. Well, it's finally here more than anything.
Well, excited that, finally here. Get that last loss taste out of your mouth. This is la-la season. This is the time where everybody's talked themselves out that everybody's undefeated, everybody's going to be better, and now it's just time to play the games and see who's wrong.
Yep. Oh, yeah. So then this might be the best way to start. It was unveiled earlier today, the bracket, the 12-team bracket for Joel Klatt. Joel Klatt has Oregon as the 1 seed, Notre Dame is the 2 seed, Miami is the 3 seed, and Texas as the 4 seed. And he does have 4 SEC teams making the college football playoff. His teams out of the SEC are 7 seed Georgia, 10 seed LSU, 11 seed Alabama. How about that? How about that? He's got Alabama taking on Indiana right out of the gate in the first round.
It's going to be interesting to see how Indiana it really is.
Mm-hmm.
You take away the quarterback play last year, and they were a good football team, but he made them special in the games that they should have lost. So it's going to be interesting to see who steps up in those games. I think Oregon's going to be good, but I don't know. I don't know. It's just hard to say how these teams are going to be unless you watch them practice. Yeah,
and especially since teams are actively recruiting NFL players.
That is, I think that's about to go away. I really do. I don't think that's going to. I think there's a little to. I'd say there's a 5% chance either of those guys play.
Lane Kiffin was asked this earlier today.
Coach, how comfortable are you with NFL players coming back to college?
That's a good question. I think that situations are different. So, in general, should NFL players come back to college? I believe, and it doesn't matter necessarily what I believe, that answer would be no. I think every circumstance should be looked at differently. This is a very unique circumstance. Again, because I think there's not a lot of education on this, how this all happened. The judge found that these players should have been told and should have known that they were going to be eligible for a 5th year, which every player moving forward, every athlete moving forward in all sports has. And so they should have known that in December when they were making decisions. Had they known that, they would have stayed. They had no eligibility. So this is not many other circumstances that have been discussed over the years about professionals coming back. They did not know they had a year. Since then, the judge has said, you do have a year. And so because of that, this is a different situation in that where they're just going back to play. They're wanting to go back to play the year that they've been granted. Not an individual case where one player went somewhere to try to win a case. This is a lot of athletes in these, and a lot of these around the country that, from my information, isn't stopping. That there are cases right now that are going to come out where there's other athletes in the same cases. And so you may end up having hundreds of athletes in this case that are told they have a 5th year. And so this is just a really unique circumstance that isn't a traditional, just pros going back to college, just because they win a case.
Lane answered that the correct way in the first 30 seconds. No.
Yes.
No.
Well,
No.
except for his guy, right? Yeah. It's a special circumstance for his guy because he didn't know. Well, how are you going to know when they change to a new rule, right? I mean, that's just this is all. These, it's about money. That's all it is. Nobody would take these cases if these kids weren't making these money. They wouldn't care. So it's really sad. And I think I don't think LSU's going to be as good. Listen, Lane's a good coach, and he'll get the most out of them, right?
Yeah.
Offensively, anyway. But I think he's worried about being as good as LSU fans are expecting, which is everybody should be scared to play LSU. That's what we're being told by the media at LSU. Everybody should be fear. They're not fearing Sam Levin enough, especially Mississippi State because they beat them last year. So yeah.
There was, of course, Alabama named their starting quarterback as well over the weekend. Your reaction to that, Wes?
Well, it's not surprise. I went to the scrimmage. I thought he was the best quarterback. I said that on the air. You never know what the leadership plays into it, but he just looked. He just looked comfortable. He looked comfortable, and Austin Mack didn't. That's not to say Austin Mack might not. Keelan Russell gets hurt. Austin Mack might take the pressure off of him per se, and let him get out there and make some plays. I hope that doesn't happen. I'm just saying I don't think this is the end of Austin Mack. I guess is the way. I don't wish anybody get hurt, obviously, I think they got it right. Keelan Russell can make an average offensive line very good, and really, I think that's all Alabama has to be is an average offensive line, and to win football games this year. I think they'll be better by the end of the year, but I don't think they're going to be I think they're just going to be an average offensive line at the beginning, but they got to get better every game. That's the key. They have the ability to be a lot better. It's just, they a lot of young people, a lot of missteps, and they'll you got to coach these guys up. And there's so much to blocking people, and knowing what the other guy's going to do, where he's lined up, how to deal with every little intricacy of the game, whatever, of the game. But that you can't obviously know what you've never seen before, and you're going to see different things every game. But after a while, they run out of things they can do, right? And then you get it all, and then you get a little confidence, and you get better. And if you're coached up right, you could take just guys that are a little above average and make them into great football players in college. NFL's a whole different ball game because you can't really So you can't double team this guy because the guy right next to him is really good too, you know? So, it doesn't work. You got to be careful up there.
Yeah.
But in college, you can game plan around it.
Indeed. We've got Jerry Glanville coming up. We've also got Corey Reamer coming up as well from the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Gonna dive into one of my favorite tweets that I got was this little clip after Lane Kiffin was explaining why NFL players should be eligible immediately.
You're looking at now, sir. Everything that happens now is happening now.
What happened to then?
We passed that.
When?
Just now. We're at now.
Go back to then.
When?
Now.
Now?
Now.
I can't.
Why?
We missed it.
When?
Just now.
All right, let's take our first time out. Jerry Glanville is set to join us on the other side. Just getting things started here on this Monday edition of The Drive. Right now.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hey, I'm Bobby White for Lynn Layton Ford Indicator. Summer is flying by and our summer sales event is coming to an end soon. But there's still time to lock in low, amazing summer deals. Now's your last chance to get 0% financing, 0 payments for 90 days, 0 maintenance for 2 years, and $1,000 down payment assistance on a huge selection of new Fords. With your good credit, get up to $6,000 off MSRP on 26 Broncos. $6,000 off. While they last, get $7,500 off MSRP on a 25 Bronco Sport. $7,500 off. The last new 2026 STX Crew Cab started under $46,000, and Lynn Layton Ford will never add any dealer dock fees or some ridiculous upcharge. Don't miss out on 0%, 0 payments for 90 days, 0 cost for maintenance for 2 years, and $1,000 in down payment assistance. Hurry into Lynn Layton Ford, right in the heart of Ford country, just a mile south of the Beltline indicator, or online anytime at LynnLaytonFord.com.
Bronco 28442T, Bronco Sport 28032D, F-150 28485T. See dealer for details.
Mark your calendars for September 19th as All About Water invites you to Pond Tour 2026, a free self-guided walkthrough of real ponds and water features that they've built right here in the Huntsville area. Talk to them on site, ask questions, see the craftsmanship up close, no pressure, no appointment. Whether you're picturing a small backyard fountain or a full koi pond with waterfalls, this is your chance to see what's possible for free. RSVP at allaboutwaterllc.com or check out their Facebook page on the day of for participating addresses. Your backyard could be next.
The LG software team brings you Bamboo HR. Bamboo streamlines everything from hiring to offboarding and eliminating manual HR tasks.
With Bamboo, our customers have saved time, stay organized, and keep employees happier with a seamless HR experience.
This is unique to Huntsville and Birmingham, and I urge you to ask about it.
Just ask anyone.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
The Orthopedic Center. It's in the name. TOC, the premier choice for all your orthopedic needs. With over 40 physicians and 20 centers of excellence, TOC is the name to trust for complete, expert orthopedic care. And that word center, we mean it. With more than a dozen locations across North Alabama and the Tennessee Valley, TOC is in your community whenever you need us. As the state's largest orthopedic practice, TOC is built on trust. Trust we've earned with every patient we serve. You can see that trust on the field, too. As the official sports medicine provider for the Huntsville Havoc, Huntsville City Football Club, Oakwood and Alabama A&M universities, thousands of athletes and coaches count on TOC to keep them in the game. From student athletes to unexpected injuries, our urgent ortho clinics offer prompt, expert care. No appointment necessary. So remember, when it comes to your health and mobility, trust the name that says it all. TOC, helping you live a better life.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
I might fall from a tall building.
There it is. It is a Monday edition of The Drive.
It wouldn't be Monday
It really
without the
wouldn't.
unknown stunt man himself.
That's right.
Coach Jerry Granville.
How are you, Coach?
I've never spent much time in school,
Coach?
but I told ladies plenty.
Hey, Coach, you there?
Oh, man. Is that Wes?
No, not even close.
That's Brian Temple.
Oh, Brian's better than Wes. We're good.
No.
I wanted to
My name is not on the bottom right of my paycheck.
I wanted to start with Wes because the biggest thrill in NFL this last week were the Titans' new uniforms. Did you get to see them?
Yeah, sure did. I did last
Did that
night.
make you proud?
It sure did. It should. I mean, and that is the new look. That's their base new look, Coach.
And the only thing, it's an Oiler uniform with a T instead of a Derrick.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was playing for him, I'd get a magic marker and put the Derrick on the side of my helmet.
But I noticed, I noticed the T even kind of resembles a little bit of that oil Derrick.
Yes, I did too. I was so thrilled to see that. And anybody that was playing in the game probably going to get cut. But I was proud. I told everybody, asked me, what do you think of the uniform? I was proud they were playing hard. Now, I didn't say good. You got to know the difference between hard and good. But they were playing, and you go back, and when I go out to Texas, those people, they still buy more Houston Oilers shirts than any other jersey in Texas. Is that unbelievable?
Unreal.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
That's why they had to go back to uniform. They couldn't sell that. I don't know where they invented that last thing. I said it looked like a cape or something from Mars. I don't know where they got that thing. The NFL.
Yeah.
There's a word. Greedy people. They're now going to have a team overseas full time.
Mm-hmm.
What a surprise!
Yeah.
What a shock! And the minute they announced it, the other people said, "Why one? We need four."
Did you see that full interview that Roger Goodell gave with the German television station, Coach?
No,
because he said at one point he said at one point he would be for the Super Bowl to be held internationally as well.
Well, that's why I don't. Anytime he's on TV, I run in the bathroom and turn the shower on. I don't want to listen.
I agree with you. I don't like him. I've never liked him. You're right. You got to watch it. When he talks, you need to go take a shower. It's awful.
Yeah, it's just terrible. So I thought NFL is all American. You got enough money. They got more money than Donald Trump almost. Forget the money and do what's proper for the game. They're never going to do that as long as. And why does Goodell make all that money? Why is he the commissioner? Because he brings cash to the class.
Mm-hmm.
End of story. Okay, let's move on. I saw the Cleveland Browns. I'm not going to joke here. Decided Watson was the starting quarterback. So I went back and tried to figure out why.
No, they named Deshaun or not. Shadur, Coach, earlier today.
Oh my gosh! When I was reading, I get up too early, or I've been drinking too much. I read Watson was the starting quarterback. I couldn't figure out why.
No, sir. Shadur Sanders is the starting quarterback.
I feel a lot better. I feel a lot better now, and I'm happy because you know who Bill Gates is.
Heard of him?
Yes.
Bill Gates, very wealthy man. He's taken all of his money. His dad died of Alzheimer's, and he's trying to find the real cure for Alzheimer's with his own money, not making money. He had Morgan Freeman there saying that if you took 2 of his pills every day, you wouldn't get Alzheimer's and you wouldn't forget things. So I went out and bought a couple bottles. And I was bragging to everybody. And everybody says, well, what's the name of it? I said, I can't find the bottle.
So, Coach, I need to find that bottle, too, because evidently I'm wrong. The Browns have indeed named Deshaun Watson their starting quarterback for week 1 of the 26th NFL campaign.
Does that mean I was correct?
You were correct.
Yes.
It was wrong.
Well, I thought I was with my ex-wife because it didn't matter what I said, I was wrong.
Yeah.
As people say, what's it like being divorced after 43 years? I said, hell, I'm right once in a while. Today I was right.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, now we got to go to Mendoza. Mendoza was the second coming.
Mm-hmm.
Second week in a row. Doesn't look very good. Pick 6.
Yeah.
Now, what do you judge a rookie when he throws a pick 6? What do you judge?
How he reacts.
Did he chase the interceptor? Did he go after and try to make the tackle? I had a guy in the NFL championship game threw a pick and watched him. That don't go over good.
Yeah.
And I was upset with that. So, Mendoza chased the quarterback. So everybody said, he's there. Well, at least he chased the quarterback. And when June Jones coached the quarterbacks, you got three quarterbacks. You got 2 standing behind the huddle. And then when June Jones quarterback threw a pick in practice, all 3 guys had to go make the tackle. That's coaching. That's coaching.
Yeah, it's coaching.
Then I wrote down the 49ers are so close all the time, so close. But when they lost, and everybody talks about the tight end at Kansas City because he married some girl that's trying to break my singing record, sell more songs than me. But the 49ers lost Kittle. I think George was a better tight end than the Kansas City tight end, and he got the Achilles heel injury. Well, the Achilles heel, that's a tough one now. That's a tough one, and you never know if you're going to come back or not. And I think he was a piece of them that gave them their physicality and their toughness, and they need him back.
Achilles injury is no doubt.
Tough.
I wonder what percentage of people back.
Yeah.
After that injury.
Okay. Here's the next. I'm going fast because the Tigers are playing tonight. Okay, here's the next one. Bo Nix looks just like he did before he left with injury. Bo Nix.
Doesn't he?
He looks super. Unbelievable player. I'm all for him. Now, we got to talk about, they used to call this game football. I now call it quarterback ball. Football has somewhat disappeared. But Kansas City had a guy hit 2 long field goals and then hit a 69-yard field goal. So I'm thinking about how these kickers, everybody can be working their butt off for 3 hours, and this guy drinking a Dr. Pepper walks out there and hits a 69-yard.
69. And that was right after the previous kicker kicked a 58-yard field goal, Coach.
You have to control that. In the league, rather than Goodell be standing in Germany pounding on his chest for a Super Bowl over there, he ought to be saying, we have to control the kickers. My kickers overinflated the ball and put the ball in a microwave.
Mm-hmm.
And if you got an overinflated microwave ball, it's still. They got to capture the balls. It's field goal time. That little guy there, we'll call him Joe Bag of Donuts, runs out with the only ball they can kick. Because they are doctoring the ball, and it's going to control too many games.
How about narrowing the goalpost, Coach?
No, because that tells me where the hash marks are. I don't want to get where's the hash mark.
Yeah.
You'll throw my brain out of whack. And now that I got Bill Gates' medicine, if I can find it, I'm on a long run here, baby.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are, Coach. Boy, it's just
Here's
about
the
time.
question.
Yeah. What?
Here's the question. Every year, every week, every Monday, who is the best preseason quarterback? Who's the guy that's playing in the preseason that is better than everybody else? Are you sitting down?
I am.
Joe Moulton at the Cowboys.
How about that?
Joe Moulton at the Cowboys. He looks better than Prescott. He looks like Prescott did when Prescott was a rookie. He was on fire. He had a quarterback rating of 151.
Mm.
The only thing that ever got close to 151 in the NFL was how much weight West gained when he kept drinking that beer.
So, Coach, what will happen to him? Do you think if he continues to improve? Do you think that he'll end up at another team, or do you think that the Cowboys will finally cut the start?
No, they'll stay. They'll stay with Prescott because it's not about anything but Mr. Green. What happens in pro football? If you're paying him all that money, he's got to play. That's why Deshaun Watson. Although I had a guy tell me he wasn't the starter. That's why he's the starter.
Told you that?
And I look at Joe Moulton. He was playing at Michigan. He transfers to Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And about game 3, he gets injured, and a guy named Hooker comes in and lights it on fire for 2 years.
That's right.
If Milton doesn't get hurt, probably Joe Hooker's not a first-round pick to Detroit. He didn't even play.
Mm-hmm.
I know too much.
Well, he's also been hurt way too much, honestly, Coach. Hendon Hooker.
Yeah. Oh, Hooker's done.
Yeah,
and Hooker got hurt the next year.
I saw him playing last night. I also saw Jalen Milroe throw 2 picks last night, Coach.
Wow. Let me tell you. You look, I watched Hooker throw the deep ball better than anybody I saw. And how did he throw the deep ball? In the shotgun with a trigger, with a gun.
Yeah.
Well, he gets drafted the first round, and he's a first-round quarterback for Detroit. And what do they do to him? He's underneath the center, turning his back to the defense to run play-action pass so the offensive coordinator can say, that's what I believe in. Well, you're not playing, son. Do what he does.
So true. So true.
That is the biggest mistake made anywhere is when you take players and try to change them. I mean, but doesn't make any sense in the NFL. They're drafting these guys, and then they come there and try to change everything. It doesn't make any sense.
I was blessed. I was around good quarterback coaches before they became the quarterback coach. Now is they get that job trying to be a head coach. You don't get the head job coaching the offensive line. You got to be having a quarterback throw the football and throw the football and throw the football and throw the football. You don't get a head job if the quarterback turns around and hands it off. So these quarterback guys want their system. You don't have a system if you're not playing. The system has to be built around what the players can do.
Yeah. And this
is concept.
This is the time you need to figure that out. Well, if you don't have it figured out by now, it's going to be a long year, Coach.
Well, I helped the team in Bristol, Tennessee. Y'all ever been to Bristol, Tennessee?
A couple of times.
Well, I helped the team this 2 weeks ago, a high school team, and we went out in the opener with a 17-game losing streak. In the first game, the parents, everybody came on the field and cried. It looked like everybody was in shock. How can you lose 17 in a row and then come out and thump one of the best people? Because we see, I would say, in the corner, play full press bump and one. No. Okay, we'll play cover 2. Can the defensive end shock and lock the tackle. No. Well, then we'll jet. And we changed all the techniques and broke a 17-game losing streak.
Well, I got one. I got one better for you, Coach. Saturday night, I called a high school football game here in town. It was Columbia's first win. Columbia High School's first win in almost 11 years. 10 months. 10 years, 10 months, and 6 days. They had lost 101 games in a row.
Holy cow, you know what that record sounds like?
What's that?
That's almost my fight record. Everybody want to know if I fought. I fought a lot. I was 0-100. I was 0-100. And so when a guy would come up to me in the bar and says, I want to take you outside and kick your butt, I would say, you have any idea my fight record's 0-100? And if I happen to win, I'm chasing you 100 days in a row.
The head coach, he's in his second year, is some guy named Sammy Coates, the former Auburn wide receiver. He is the head coach at Columbia.
Columbia, what state?
Alabama. Yeah, here in Alabama, Coach.
See, I was thinking of Columbia, Georgia, over there by the west border.
I understand. Yep.
And you're going to tell my age. On 1968, with Columbia, Georgia, got a great linebacker. Got a linebacker in 1968 out of Columbia. Oh, man, that was awesome. And to get a kid out of West Georgia, you usually had to beat a guy named Bryant. And Bear Bryant could come into Warner Robins and Macon and walk away with the best player.
In fact, funny you go there because I was listening to Coach Prime earlier today as his guys are getting ready to head to Georgia Tech, of all places. And one of the reporters asked him about why so many players are from the state of Georgia on his roster. Here's what Prime had to say.
There's more and more talent.
That's the South, man. That's the South. It's almost like how prominent has the University of Georgia been in the last decade? Prominent. Alabama, prominent. You know, those schools from the South, Clemson, you know, all those schools. So it's a bed of talent there, and we've been able to penetrate that bed and have grab some great players out of there. And they're excited about going home. They're excited about putting on in front of their families. They're excited about a multitude of things, and I'm excited for them. I just told them, don't get us a penalty. Like, make it to the sideline and celebrate. I know, you know, that's a lot coming from me as a coach. I'm like, guys, but I never belittled my opponent, and I never got flagged for excessive celebration. Although it may have looked excessive, it wasn't excessive. But I don't mind them celebrating. I want them to have a good time. But I understand it. When I have conversations like that.
You go ahead, Coach. I'm sorry.
Let's back this interview up. We were playing the Houston Oilers in the opener, and we were a 17-point dog. Well, we had them by about 30. And it's going to be the biggest upset on the market. And Dion picks off a Warren Moon interception and starts running it back. Well, he had a deal he called Cadillac. Where he put his hand behind his helmet and pranced like a drum major. Well, he's Cadillacing and Warren Moon is running after him. So when the play was over, I don't want to contradict the coach, but I said, here's the deal. Cadillac the last 10 yards, and I'm all for it. But you Cadillac 50 yards.
Yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
Oh, my God. And Warren Moon was pumping his arms, head down. He couldn't catch him if he had a motor scooter.
I thought you might appreciate that little comment there from Coach Prime.
Well, we all grow up, except Wes.
I'll never grow up. Who wants to grow up?
Oh, yeah, that's no fun. That's no fun at all. Well, the Tigers have lost 7 in a row, so we've lost our edge.
Ooh.
And they played 7 legitimate rookies this week. So we're really watching the Toledo Mud Hens. The Mud Hens is the AAA to Detroit, And everybody in Toledo says, well, we're still watching the Mud Hens. They just moved.
So how far? I'm looking 3.5. You're 3.5 back in the wild card, but the problem is you've got Seattle, Baltimore, Minnesota, Toronto, and Texas in front of you. That's a lot.
And our veterans aren't playing very good. Our veterans.
Braves can't hit to save their life, right? I know they won last night in Williamsport, but the Braves are struggling in big time right now too, Coach.
Well, here's what's happening. The long ball. Let's talk about the long ball.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can be a good hitter with power, or you can try to be a power hitter. And as soon as you try to be a power hitter, you're going from 280 to 210.
Mm.
And the Detroit Tiger vets decided, because they hit some home runs, that they were going to be power hitters. Well, now they're playing Tampa Bay, who is number one with Cleveland on small ball. What will happen tonight? They will bunt, they will steal, they will sacrifice. Meanwhile, Detroit's trying to hit a home run, and it's called whiffing. And they whiff, and they whiff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm upset. Can you tell? I love the Tigers.
Well, I'm not going to be
not LSU.
Braves aren't going to lose tonight, Coach. They are not playing tonight, but then they open up a series with the Dodgers tomorrow. So this tough stretch continues.
Is Scooble pitching against the Braves?
He just won his first game over the weekend, so I would say no.
No. It's kind of funny. He was thin, not very big, went to Tommy John surgery, gained 40 pounds in his legs and butt, changed him. Now this guy at Milwaukee is the fastest, 105.
Yeah.
And he went to Tommy John and went to lifting weights and bigger in the lower body. Now, when Wes played for me, I never told him to get bigger in the lower body.
Never. Not even once.
No.
Well, I think that's appropriate.
Well, I that's all I got. I don't have a lot.
Yeah.
But that's all I had football-wise, baseball-wise.
Mm-hmm.
And I was supposed to go to the Cleveland is in Detroit, having a big deal up in Cleveland, and they're going to put me in the Detroit press box. The first game is doubleheader, and the Cleveland the second game. But I had a little deal that I can't go up there. I got a little twitch in my hip, and they said, "How about this?" They said, "We're worried about your pelvis," and I said, "What are you talking about? I quit doing the twist when I put Chubby Checker in the Hall of Fame." Care about my pelvis.
All right now. All right. But I have been listening to, who did you, there's been one artist I've been listening to quite a bit ever since you told me.
Fleet.
Thank you. I've been listening yeah.
Now you got to do this. You get the Larry Fleet gospel music.
Okay.
He started out blues, went to country, and then he went blues, country, gospel.
Okay, I will.
And listen to the song "Bring It to the Table."
Okay.
And he's telling you, any troubles, any worries you have, bring it to Jesus. He's seen it before.
I will listen.
Awesome music.
I will.
Awesome music. He's out of Kentucky, so you know he doesn't watch football.
But a lot of basketball, probably.
A lot of basketball.
Mm.
Who's the new Kentucky coach? Did you like him at the league?
Will Stein. Yeah, he came from Oregon, but he brought in a lot of transfers. Who isn't? So see how Kentucky stacks up. There is it's hard to gauge how these teams are going to look, Coach, more than anything due to all these transfers. And it's still going on. I don't know if you're following, but now with the judges ruling here about a little over a month ago, where the class of 2022 is suing for an extra year of eligibility because when the NCAA went for the 5-for-5 rule, they did not grandfather in the 22 class. Then they went to the court systems, and the judges in the local states are starting to rule the players' favor. So that's why now you're seeing the likes of LSU. Hopefully, they're wanting to get a player that's just been cut by the Cleveland Browns.
Oh my gosh! Well, I'd look at another team. I'd try to get a guy from a better team.
Not the Browns. Not the Browns.
No, not the Browns.
Not the Browns.
Not the Browns. There's only one thing worse than their quarterback situation, and that's their ownership. See, what a mess. I was living in Knoxville, and they wanted me to talk to the owner of the Browns about Johnny Football. It's the only time I went and ate with the owner of the Cleveland Browns, and it was educational. I was so thrilled that a guy that sold gasoline for a living could tell me what football I didn't know.
Wow. So he was educating you, Coach.
Well, I told him Johnny Football couldn't play, and of course they went the other way, took him for his pick. I was judging it on Johnny Football in the SEC was running RPO versus zone coverage. Well, who's on the slot? The linebacker that has to dive. And you go RPO in the NFL, and if you see one zone, call me collect.
So, Coach, when you look back at the final cuts and a lot of great players get cut, was there a guy that you were close to keeping that you cut that you ended up wishing you had?
Well, probably, and there was guys I kept that I wish I'd have cut. They're on both sides. Here's the problem in pro football. If you're a walk-on, if you're a free agent, and you make a mistake, nobody will argue to cut him. But you try to cut a guy that they picked in the third round, and you'll have a mutiny in the front office. And why is that? If they've got money involved in you, they have to depreciate you out like a press, like a hammer, and they can take that signing bonus over so many years. Well, I cut Marcus Cotton, who was the first guy picked in the second round. Somebody picked him, couldn't play. And when I cut him, I thought I turned over the school bus. And if he'd have been in the fifth round, nobody cares.
Yep.
It's all about Mr. Green. Where's the money?
Well, I did hear something obscure from Dion today. I had no idea that Coach Prime is a fan of Red Lobster.
My man, I went to Red Lobster a couple of days ago. I thought about you.
Okay.
I sat in our corner. Yeah, I was with my lady. I was with my lady though, so I didn't think about you much, but I thought about you though, Jack. Yeah. Okay.
Was Sam your waiter again?
Yes, he was. Yeah, he was.
So evidently, Coach Prime, all about them cheddar biscuits, Coach.
Well, I need to tell them, shellfish will cause you gout with your feet.
Ooh.
And remember Robert Lyles?
Yeah.
A great linebacker?
Yes.
He got the gout because they ate the crawfish and the lobsters and the shrimps. So Dion limping around with that foot, he better get off the shellfish.
Yeah, he does. Goodness.
I thought about that. That's a good call, Coach.
That's a real good call.
Doctor level.
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny. I am a doctor, and I was going to get this test on my pelvis they wanted to do, and she said, "Who are you?" I goes, "What do you mean?" He says, "You can't get in there, and you got in there in 3 hours, and we had to move 5 people to get you in there. Who are you?" I said, "Well, I'm a doctor." And she goes, "Oh, excuse me, I feel so bad. You're a doctor. Where do you practice?" I said, "On the football team. I'm doctor of defense."
PhD right there.
Yes.
100%.
All righty, Coach. Always great to catch up with you.
Let's pick the team. They didn't say Europe. They're always tricky. They didn't say we're going to have an NFL team in Europe.
Yeah.
They said overseas.
They did. And
that always. Now, would you consider England Europe?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Do you consider Alabama part of the United States? No.
Depends on what we're talking about.
Yeah, for real.
Well, have a good one, guys. The Tigers, believe it or not, were in the top of the first, and we haven't been scored on yet.
Well, there you go. See? Trying to bring you a little luck right there.
We needed 7 in a row with stuff. My brother was real good friends with Jim Leland, who I played with. And Jim Leland told my brother, he said, Richard, your brother could never be a baseball coach. And my brother said, well, why is that? He was a hell of a baseball player. He goes, he couldn't take 80 losses a year. You can lose 80 and be coach of the year.
Yes, you can. Absolutely, you can.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Thank you, Coach. Always great to catch up with Coach Jerry Glanville right there. Let's take our final time out. Wrap up hour 1 next.
But I got the best first ladies. Some days
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This hour of The Drive is brought to you by Lynn Leighton Ford, located online at lynnleightonford.com.
Hey, I'm Bobby White for Lynn Leighton Ford Indicator. Summer is flying by and our summer sales event is coming to an end soon. But there's still time to lock in low, amazing summer deals. Now's your last chance to get 0% financing, 0 payments for 90 days, 0 maintenance for 2 years, and $1,000 down payment assistance on a huge selection of new Fords. With your good credit, get up to $6,000 off MSRP on 26 Broncos. $6,000 off. While they last, get $7,500 off MSRP on a 25 Bronco Sport. $7,500 off. The last new 2026 STX Crew Cab started under $46,000, and Lynn Leighton Ford will never add any dealer dock fees or some ridiculous upcharge. Don't miss out on 0%, 0 payments for 90 days, 0 cost for maintenance for 2 years, and $1,000 in down payment assistance. Hurry into Lynn Leighton Ford, right in the heart of Ford Country, just a mile south of the Beltline Indicator, or online anytime at lynnleightonford.com.
Bronco 28442T, Bronco Sport 28032D, F-150 28485T. See dealer for details.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Fall Saturdays in the South mean football. And when football season rolls, patio and grill season rolls right with it. Turn your patio into your favorite place to watch the game. From premium grills like Big Green Egg, Yoder, Blaze, and Napoleon to outdoor furniture built for Saturdays. Brooks & Collier has everything you need to make your patio the best seat in the house. Brooks & Collier, 80 years, 4 generations, the Valley's best in outdoor living. 813 Meridian Street and at brooksandcollier.com.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up. Lake Guntersville Ace Hardware is your locally owned and operated hardware store. We're not just about numbers, we're about helping neighbors, because our Ace Hardware store is part of your community. We're committed to being the helpful place by offering our customers personal service, quality products, and a convenient shopping experience. As the helpful hardware folks in your neighborhood, we promise that helping you is the most important thing we have to do today. Stop by and visit Lake Gunnersville Ace Hardware today, 1536 Blunt Avenue in Gunnersville.
The LG software team brings you Bamboo HR. Bamboo streamlines everything from hiring to offboarding and eliminating manual HR tasks.
With Bamboo, our customers have saved time, stay organized, and keep employees happier with a seamless HR experience.
This is unique to Huntsville and Birmingham, and I urge you to ask about it.
Just ask anyone.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Fox 54 Weather Impact meteorologist Emily Owen. A quiet and warm night expected across the Tennessee Valley. Low temperatures will be falling into the mid-70s for this Monday night. We'll sit under a mostly clear sky. Heading into our Tuesday, temperatures warm up into the mid-90s for the afternoon. Expect to see mostly sunshine. Isolated showers and thunderstorms will be possible mainly in the afternoon.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. We cover all the SEC schools, including Western Union and Venmo.
I want that money!
You know, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Well, Deshaun Watson being named the starting quarterback is awfully interesting, considering the fans were booing the Browns quarterback over the weekend, and that led this exchange between reporter and now starting quarterback.
Deshaun, that winning and playing better would eliminate some of that booing?
Last time I played on this field, I tore my Achilles. And that same fan base, they cheered when I got hurt. So what does that have to do with anything about performance? When a person get hurt, especially for your own city, and they cheer.
Does any of that make you regret coming here?
No, I don't regret anything in my life. You know, I think the Lord put me through situations for a reason, so I don't regret anything at all. I had different thoughts on how it was going to be, but, you know, it is what it is. I'm not tripping on it.
Not tripping on it.
Well, I mean, so
I don't know if the Lord put him in those situations. I mean,
well, first of all, what you're saying is, though, is why shouldn't and he should be to me the bad people are people booing, cheering when he gets hurt. How could that not affect you? And I would be angry as well, no matter what. Just because they don't think he's played good or he got paid too much or whatever. Listen, I said that was the stupidest move maybe in the history of the
you remember it was between. Do you remember? Because it was between the Falcons and the Browns, and he ended up going to the Browns.
Yeah, but they paid him $250 million, which is the stupidest thing ever.
$230. Yeah.
A guy that had all kind of charges and all kind of lawsuits and all kind of publicity, and they bailed Houston out. I think they gave a bunch of draft picks too.
They got Will Anderson out of the deal.
Yeah, anyway. But here's the deal. Nothing excuses when a guy gets hurt them cheering. Zero. So I would be upset as well. So I think the edge should be on the Cleveland Browns' face, not on Deshaun Watson for saying what he said.
Now watch him just ball out this year. It is the last year of his contract. And anyway, I'm going to talk to Corey Reamer here in about 10 minutes. Let's hear from Mark from Spring Hill. He is called in. How are you, Mark?
Hey, doing great, guys. I was just going to see if I can follow up on what I kind of started a week ago. Just want to call out Alabama players that if we had to have a complete coaching change, who I would go with. Not that we will. I think we're going to have a great year. But I'm just talking about former players that played under Coach Saban. I'd have Julio Jones as a wide receiver coach. I would have Chris Samuels as the offensive line coach. I'd have Mark Ingram as running back coach. I would have A.J. McCarron as the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach. I'd have Terrence Cody as the defensive line coach. I'd have Reuben Foster as a linebacker coach.
Didn't Cody be a nutrition?
And then I would have Sinceri as the secondary coach, and then special teams coach. I'd have Javier Arenas, and then the head coach. I was going to say A.J. McCarron. I was going to say Greg McElroy, but
as a what? As a head coach?
No, I said I was, but I changed my mind. I want to go with
God.
With who?
Go with D'Amico Ryan.
Yeah. Well, I was for him to be the last coach.
D'Amico's got a pretty good job right now. You're missing out. You're missing somebody. I don't know why this popped into my brain over the weekend, but I looked it up. We're sneaking up on the 10-year anniversary of Brandon Chicken. Do you remember Brandon Chicken?
Oh, yeah. Liaison for the team liaison.
That's right. Yeah.
But seriously, Wes, seriously, why don't we see more Alabama at Alabama? And don't you think
because they got to be coached
would be great?
90% of those people you say have never coached anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You just make somebody a coach.
Yeah. You got to prove yourself. Yeah.
And so much and it's hard to become a coach. I have 2 sons and two nephews that are in coaching. Basically, you don't get paid anything to be a coach in the first couple of years. 0.
How bad? Yeah.
Yeah, A.J. McCarron's one. I know Sinceri coaches NFL.
Dad was a coach, and that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's doing. I've never talked to anybody. I know that he was a great player, and made plays in every game. But yeah, it's hard to be it's a hard profession to get in and then stay in. Because here's I give you more examples, but like you're D'Amico Ryans is at Houston. He decides to take the Alabama job. Well, you don't think he's going to bring the Houston people in? Mm-hmm. The people that deal with him? So it doesn't work that you can take and just hire all Alabama people. That's never going to happen.
Hey, I know.
But everybody has to fit the different systems on offense, different systems on defense. Who's going to be the coordinator? The coordinator is going to hire whoever. Not what the. If I'm going to be named a coordinator, I'm going to get these 2 hired.
There you go. I appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, Mark. That is going to wrap us up for hour number 1. Speaking of the Crimson Tide, we'll talk with another former Crimson Tide player and now part of the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Corey Reamer is set to join us after this Sports Center timeout.
Hey, I'm Bobby White for Lynn Layton Ford Indicator. Summer is flying by and our summer sales event is coming to an end soon. But there's still time to lock in low, amazing summer deals. Now's your last chance to get 0% financing, 0 payments for 90 days, 0 maintenance for 2 years, and $1,000 down payment assistance on a huge selection of new Fords. With your good credit, get up to $6,000 off MSRP on 26 Broncos. $6,000 off. While they last, get $7,500 off MSRP on a 25 Bronco Sport. $7,500 off. The last new 2026 STX Crew Cab started under $46,000. And Lynn Layton Ford will never add any dealer dock fees or some ridiculous upcharge. Don't miss out on 0%, 0 payments for 90 days, 0 cost for maintenance for 2 years, and $1,000 in down payment assistance. Hurry into Lynn Layton Ford, right in the heart of Ford country, just a mile south of the Beltline indicator, or online anytime at lynnlaytonford.com.
Bronco 28442T, Bronco Sport 28032D, F-150 28485T. See dealer for details.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. A fast start for the AL East leading Rays on this Monday night in Major League Baseball. They're up 2-0 on the Tigers. Top of the first, Junior Caminero, Jonathan Ronda have each driven in a run. Red Sox and Marlins scoreless, bottom first. Boston's in Major League best, 25-11 since the All-Star break. 3 back of the Yankees for the top AL wildcard spot. Miami is 4 back of the final NL wildcard spot. The winner of the Browns quarterback competition is Deshaun Watson. The man with the $230 million guaranteed contract beat out Shedeur Sanders to be Cleveland's QB1. The decision announced 2 days after Watson called out fans for booing him during Saturday's preseason game when he went 5 for 12, 35 yards, 1 interception over 4 second-half drives. ESPN NFL analyst Dan Orlovsky.
I'm shocked. If this was just a football decision, just football, and I haven't seen every day at practice, I would probably say coin flip. 50-50. Start the guy you want. It doesn't really matter to me. After Saturday's press conference, I'm shocked that they did this to the Cleveland fans. I've said if I was a Cleveland fan and Deshaun's still starting week 3, I would not go to the game.
Dan Orlovsky on the Pat McAfee Show. Watson did apologize today for calling out fans. 49ers owner Jed York pleaded no contest to a pair of misdemeanor charges after being arrested in Ohio on suspicion of engaging in prostitution. The Texans acquired receiver Kayshon Boutte from the Patriots for safety Jalen Reed and a 2028 7th-round pick. Houston is hoping that Boutte can fill some of the void created by the season-ending ACL injury to Jaden Higgins.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Tuesday, now that the Browns have named Deshaun Watson QB1, we ask Adam Schefter what's next for Cleveland when he joins us at 8 a.m. Eastern. It's on Sportsman, like 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Hour number 2 rolls along as Tennessee has a starting quarterback. Florida has a starting quarterback. Alabama has a starting quarterback as well named. This is mock game week for a lot of folks as we get ready for the Crimson Tide. Wes Neighbors, Steve Moulton here with you as we welcome in Corey Reamer, former Crimson Tide linebacker and now part of the Crimson Tide Sports Network. How are you, Corey?
Hey, what's going on, Wes? How are y'all doing?
We're good. We're good. It's good to catch up, and it's about that time of year. Tell me a little bit about your fall this in particular. How much did you get to hang around practice or scrimmages and kind of just take in a little bit of another year of Alabama football?
Yeah, not as much as I would have liked to with our, y'all can relate. I've got an 8 and a 6-year-old whose sports activities have been going full tilt since there was, I don't know what summer was. We had activities I told somebody today, after tomorrow, this is the last free Tuesday I have until December. And pretty much every night of the week, we've got some sort of sport or activity or something between these two. And I've only got 2 kids. It's not like I got 4. And and it feels like summer's been that way just as well. We've had baseball and softball and everything else in between.
Yeah.
So football, I'm glad football's here. And I'm going to be forced to watch some of it. Thank goodness. Otherwise, I don't know how much I'd get to see.
So, am I hearing you right, Corey? That you're part of the Crimson Tide Sports Network, and it sounds like it's helping you to.
It's a benefit, that's for sure. It is a benefit, that is for sure, for my viewing pleasure. There's no doubt.
Sorry, honey. This is work. This is work,
It's
honey.
work. It's work. I got to go to work. So I'm excited. It's here. I've been, you get teased with these NFL pre-games and preseason games and all that kind of stuff. And then you're just ready for the real football to start. I've watched the preseason games, but I'm ready for week 0's here. We got some good matchups this weekend, and then next weekend, of course, is when it really kicks off. And I've just been really excited that I've also not had to be in pads in this heat. Coaching 8-year-old softball out there is bad enough, or 6-year-old flag football is bad enough in this heat.
So Corey, when you, I guess question marks other than the offensive line, which is the biggest, is the linebackers. And I went to practice, and I was impressed by the linebackers. I think they have a chance to be really good. So have you had a chance to see any of them so far?
I think that this defense has a really good chance to be good, which is kind of contrary to what people would expect, just because we've had a lot of departures, and you lose 2 of your bigger production guys, especially across that front line. But you've got some really good, talented guys that have transferred in, and whether that's your edge rushers, your defensive line, you're replacing the entire defensive front almost, essentially. We've got some guys that are coming back, but I'm excited about Yonze Pierre, guy that came on really hot last year, kind of that wolf position, that edge rusher, that tone setter. Having him back is I think is going to be massive for us. But I think, linebackers, we had good play last year, but there was, especially late in the season, we did not play run fits very well. And even when we did play run fits very well, we didn't really get a lot of pushback. We weren't knocking guards back. We weren't knocking offensive linemen back, and we were getting pushed around, especially in that Indiana game. So I'm excited about this whole defense, especially with the good news is for Kane Womack is he's got experience in the secondary, and I think that is going to absolutely change how he calls plays, how aggressive he can be, and you're going to be able to fill the box a little bit more than you did last year, because you've got more faith in those guys on the outside to play man-to-man until they prove that they can't. But, we were just unable to lock up their two top targets and go play man-to-man on the outside last year. And I think that was a huge detriment to the success of our defense. Even though we were kind of a bend, don't break, we did a good job on defense. But I think we can be more effective in creating turnovers, and not allowing these 3rd and long conversions that we did last year, and getting off the field in 3rd down situations. Hopefully this season we're going to be a lot more effective there.
Specifically to that linebacker room, Yonze Pierre, he was so much fun to watch. But I'm just hearing about the likes of Caleb Woodson and Luke Metz, of what they're going to bring to the table in that linebacker room.
Yeah, I think Caleb Woodson, the Virginia Tech transfer, he's probably one of the bigger pickups that we got in the transfer portal this year. He was a guy that made a lot of tackles for Virginia Tech last year. And then you've also got QB Reese, but I'm hearing a lot of good things about Luke Metz. He looked good in the spring at A-Day, and he's been climbing up the depth chart. He could be one of those, those young defensive players that has a breakout season. I'm excited about him. And then you've also got the freshman Xavier Griffin, who's a pretty big recruit, and he can play multiple different positions. So I think he reminds me a lot of Jahad Campbell. I think Kalen DeBoer kind of made the same comparison. So I think he can be a guy that can play standing up in the middle, but also can put his hand in the dirt and can be a pass rusher. I think we just got a lot of different options in that linebacker room, and it's a talented group. And I think QB Reese is not a bigger guy, but he plays physical. He plays bigger than what his measurements are. And, that's a massive, but he's also got the ability to play in coverage as well and move pretty quickly. And that's the style of linebacker that you've got to have these days. And, we had some bigger stature guys that didn't play, as big as their measurements were in the box, getting pressure or shutting down the run game. And I think we've got some inside backers that can really be a force in the middle, especially between the tackles.
Well, we, at least on the media side, we focus a lot on the quarterback competition, but inside a locker room, how much of are guys rooting for a certain quarterback? Tell me from a player's experience of what a quarterback battle is like from inside the locker room.
Yeah, I was around really one. And I think that there's been multiples throughout the years. You can look back even after the years that I was gone. You go into spring, it's a fresh start. You got multiple quarterbacks who are battling for this position, and your locker room is kind of leaning one way or the other, and then it kind of handles itself. You go out, you start doing those spring practices, then you go through summer 7-on-7, and then you go into fall camp. And even if you were rooting for a certain guy to win that battle, there really is an emergence between one of the two guys that it kind of answers the question for you, where even if you were cheering for one certain guy, you kind of understand who's won the team over, who's got the respect of the locker room, and who do your teammates have the most faith in to go out there and play. I watched one between Greg McElroy and Star Jackson, and a lot of people were excited about Star Jackson's abilities, and he was a good quarterback, but it just became more and more obvious as the summer went on and camp went on that Greg was going to be that guy that was going to win the job. And the difference, I think, there is I don't know. It's such a different competition that we just witnessed, and we saw Keelan Russell win that job. But I do think that it was probably a lot closer than people might give it credit for. But I think Austin Mack is that guy that you got to be, excited if you're a coach to have him as your second option, because I think he's a very capable quarterback. But Keelan Russell is a guy that just his upside, and now he's in year 2. He's been around the program, and he's been around understands the language and how to run this offense that Ryan Grubb wants to go out there and run. His just natural gifted athletic ability is something that it's hard to turn your head around, turn away from as a coach and not give him a shot to be out there playing.
I do. I'm talking to a Corey Reamer right now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. But, remember last fall it was Austin and Ty. There was another quarterback battle there. I can't help but feel for the guy. But at least hearing from you and especially Wes and a few others, it sounds like Alabama has two very capable quarterbacks they can win with.
Yeah, they definitely can. The only thing that concerns you is that either one of them have, very extensive game reps.
Yeah.
I think Keelan Russell has less than 40 live action game snaps, and none of them were in meaningful situations. And we come out the gate pretty hot in the first 5 games before you even get to Georgia. You got East Carolina to start us off with.
And then you've
Kentucky,
got, three SEC teams, and Florida State. You got Kentucky and Mississippi State both on the road.
Mm-hmm.
You got South Carolina at home. And these are, if you look at where these teams have finished in the SEC last year, it's not like they're the top tier of the SEC. But those are two of those four teams. One, Florida State beat us last year. And then two of your SEC teams that you've got that are going to be on the road are historically teams that can give Alabama fits for whatever reason. And Wes, you can relate to this. Whenever you go on the road to Mississippi State, it is just something different. I don't know if that's changed now that recruiting has become so nationalized, but when we were there were a lot of guys on that Mississippi State roster who were from Tuscaloosa or from Alabama, and it just became a game that was always very physical and not an easy game. And we played at Kentucky in 2009, and it was a battle all the way to the end. They are always very physical. You got Will Stein taking over at Kentucky, and he's going to rejuvenate that locker room and that fan base. Neither one of those games are going to be easy. So Keelan's going to get some pretty tough tests early on before we even talk about playing Georgia, who is in that upper echelon of the SEC.
Yeah.
And it's so important for Alabama to win these games first five, because then they play Georgia, Tennessee, Texas A&M, and LSU all in a row. I can't get one off week in there. And it's so important for this team to grow. The offensive line, the defensive guys that don't have a lot of experience, and especially the quarterback. And I think, so I've been to practice. I think the offensive line is going to be a group that's going to have to get better as the year goes along. Not a lot of experience. And along with the quarterback, they're going to have to find out what they do well, what they do well. But Keelan Russell has a live arm, and he was on the state championship track team at his high school in Texas. So in the 4x4. So these guys, he has speed to burn. He has a live arm. In the practice that I went to, he was obvious to me he was the best athlete on the team, and I think that's why he won the starting quarterback job. And now, this offense, if they have a lot of talent at wide receiver, at running back, if they can grow around him and figure out what they do well, I think the defense is going to be better than they were last year with the guys that the whole defensive line weighs over 300 pounds and can move. I mean, that's incredible to even stay that. And it's just going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of Alabama teams who have the offense hasn't really been anything that blows you out of the water, but if they protect the football and end every possession with a kick in some sort of fashion, and you've got a defense that you can lean on that can get some stops and create some turnovers, you can win a lot of games that way. And this offensive line, hopefully, the hardest thing about watching them last year was just that there was never really a solid 5 starters. Every game was different. You never knew. They were moving people around at different positions. They could never find that continuity between the group. And you just hope that that's different this year, because we said it before last season that it's probably the most important group that has to gel and has to learn how to communicate. And you play next to each other, and you've got to understand how those guys operate that are beside you and how to communicate with those people. And it's just something that takes reps together. So I'm hoping that this group this year, Michael Carroll's coming back. He's probably the one that he's really the only guy that we've got coming back that's probably going to be playing guard for us, but he's got a lot of experience. And then you've got a Jackson Lloyd, who's a highly recruited kid that's playing, potentially left tackle, and he's a big kid. You're hearing a lot about his strength in the offseason. Hopefully that translates into be able to push some fronts backwards. And then you've got to, your center, you're losing probably one of the better centers that came out in Parker Brailsford. You're going to miss his experience. You've got replacing him with an FCS guy and Delgatti. And, these guys are the group that's going to have to be able to watch, because what you said, we've got weapons galore all around Keelan Russell that can help him out. But you've got to be able to run the football. They learned that last year. We couldn't run downhill. We tried to run side to side, sideline to sideline a lot. And Jan Miller just never really could break out to be where you're wearing teams down and eating a lot of clock on some of these games that are especially late in the season, like Indiana did to us. And they just, impose your will and break people's, faith that they can stay in these ball games. And it starts with this offensive line. You can have the best receivers, the best running backs, you can have the best tight ends and the best quarterback. But eventually, having an offensive line that can't hold up and do their job, it doesn't matter what's out there at the skill positions, because you're going to be playing some SEC defenses that are going to find ways to expose that weakness.
I do wonder how much we're going to see Keelan Russell actively running in this offense.
But by design and not by pressure.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
But, Corey, as you know, he pulls that ball down a couple times. It changes the defense.
It does. And it's a threat you got to consider. And it's always given defenses a hard time whenever you've got a mobile quarterback. My thing is I hope that he runs out of necessity and he can extend plays because of that. I don't want it to be where he's pulling the ball down and not finishing reads. I think he's got a really good pocket presence. I think you look back at a Jalen Milroe where it was a lot of times it was a one read and tuck and run type situation, and you've got people running wide open everywhere. And with Jalen, it was different. I mean, he's built like a linebacker and he can break tackles. I don't think Keelan is trying to.
You don't want him taking a lot of hits.
He's not going to take a bunch of hits, and he's not going to break a bunch of tackles that way. I've heard the comparison, and I think I'm hoping that it's somewhat true, but it's a bigger version of a Bryce Young. If he has the accuracy that Bryce Young has, then we're going to be in for a hell of a year. But
I think he has a potential.
Was probably some of the best you've ever seen from an Alabama quarterback. So that's a big bar to hold him to.
Man, 6'3", 207 is what he's listed at, Wes.
And you see him the ball without even having to get his feet set from underneath him. I mean, he just has this arm strength. He doesn't have to have his feet set to throw it deep down the field. He's just got this ability.
He has a cannon.
He does. And Joe Milton from Tennessee. Y'all remember him a couple of years ago. It's just the ability to turn flat-footed. Yeah.
Is there anything that, since we're talking about young quarterbacks, is there anything from what you see, if you see a young quarterback, if he doesn't do this, wow, he's already mature beyond his years? What is that?
If he doesn't do something, I think that's exactly what we just talked about.
Okay.
If he's able to keep his eyes,
if
he's able to keep his eyes downfield, and if you pocket presence is something that you cannot. That's the one thing about experience that you really learn as you get more reps. Your ability, and I think Ty's issue with the revolving door of offensive line last year.
Yeah.
He never could get comfortable to keep his eyes. He did it. He was one of the best at doing it. He would keep his eyes downfield, feel the pressure, and be able to move in the pocket without having to look down at where it's coming from. And that comes from a level of comfortability with who you've got in front of you. And you know that they're not going to miss assignments. We just missed too many assignments last year and allowed free runners to come, and we didn't pick up blitzes very well, or we didn't handle gains from the front defensive line as well as we could have last year. And I think that causes your quarterback's eyes to drop away from what's going on in your route combinations down the field. And if you start seeing him be able to move in the pocket while finding these open receivers, that is going to show me that he is mature beyond his number of snaps that he's had and his, sophomore, grade that he is listed at. That's going to be impressive.
Corey, I can't thank you enough for the time. I especially with us juggling back here at the studios. Wes is on location, by the way, so that's he's having a little bit more fun right before kickoff, and it sounds like because we're 2 weeks away from Crimson Tide Rewind. Are we not? Are you part of that program again?
That I will not be a part of the Crimson Tide Rewind this year. That is, I've got to talk to Carabin about what all responsibilities he's got for me this year. But I will.
Are we having a production meeting right now? Is that what you're?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. If 5 years ago with with really young kids, I could really just do whatever Jim needed me to do, and now it's just becoming more and more difficult. I got this window of time to be able to go spend with these kids and coach them up. And
you got to do it. Yeah,
you got to do it. It's a short window, and so I'm enjoying that as much as possible. But they're eating my time alive. There's no time for any personal activities at this point.
Well, I've got 2 in college, so yes, you need to do what you've got to do, sir. And I appreciate you carving out time for us, and always look forward to your insights as well. And I looking forward to hearing you on the sidelines here a week from Saturday.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. I got a 6-year-old who's ready to go cast a line in one of our little honey hole ponds around the house, and he is anxiously awaiting for me to get off this phone call. I love spending time with y'all.
Soak it up,
but
Dad.
I appreciate you
Soak
having
it
me
up.
on. Yeah.
Thank you, Corey. Corey Reamer, about to go grab a fishing pole and have at it. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Did the Chief fall overboard? What's going on?
Oh, yeah. There were certain times. No, I won't say that out loud.
You know what? His name is still at the bottom right of my check.
Yes, it is. It is.
He hasn't insulted me personally. I think we're just fine.
He is on location this week. And
as long as he's here, it doesn't matter where he is.
That's right. Really good insight there from Corey Reamer. Take a time out. I've got quite a few sound bites to get to. I played a little bit from Coach Prime, who I hope everybody got that joke. If you didn't hear, he was trying to convince his players not to celebrate on a football field. Anyway, I've got more from Alex Golish, who talked about a red zone offense, as well as the book. Yes, time management, the book. We'll let you hear from the Auburn coach. Hopefully he didn't swear today. We'll all find out together on the other side.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. If you need masonry, brick, stone, or block work, Eagle should be your first call. They can even help if your property needs grading, erosion control, and Eagle can handle dirt haul-off. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Something big is coming. On September 2nd, DraftKings Game Day arrives with massive deals, exclusive deals, and an all-day celebration built for sports fans. All roads lead to Game Day. The DraftKings Sports app is now live in all 50 states. One app, every sport, all 50 states. DraftKings Game Day is yours. Remember the date, September 2nd. DraftKings Game Day is the kickoff of a new season, a new era, and the biggest day in sports history. Get ready to celebrate. New DraftKings customers, sign up with code 977THEZONE. Spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 24 21 days. That's code 977-THEZONE. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC-registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click-to-claim issued in non-withdrawable predictions dollars that expire in 1 year. Terms dkng.co/predictions promo. Nationwide based on sportsbook, predictions, and free-to-play sports contest availability. Varies by state.
Welcome to Southern Wagyu Steakhouse and Meat Market in Huntsville. From hand-cut premium steaks and chef-crafted Southern favorites to phenomenal made-from-scratch desserts and restaurant-quality meats you can take home. Every meal is made with passion and served with genuine Southern hospitality. Join us for lunch or dinner. Attend a monthly 5-course supper club or stop by to stock up your grill. You'll see that we deliver excellence from prep to plate. Southern Wagyu Steakhouse and Meat Market, corner of Highway 72 East and Jordan Road. Come taste the difference.
Now, Jimmy, you better not be eating that baseball again.
Dad, I yearn for the sweet taste of the sport. This is the best that I got.
Well, then, put down that ball and let's head over to the yard for something a little less rubber-y.
Don't eat your glove this season. Take advantage of our Big Zone deals and head on over to the Yard Milkshake Barn right outside of Toyota Field, where you'll find sweet treats like the Biscoff Cheesecake, Sweet Heat Mango, Shirley Temple Floats, and so many more. It's the Yard Milkshake Barn. Make this summer a home run hit.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that his mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Listen to the Rocket City Trash Pandas all season long.
Swung on, rocketed, left center field. That's going to get down and go to the wall. Montanel at first. He's on his way to second, and he'll pull in. There's the first ever cycle in Trash Pandas history.
Trash Panda Baseball is only on Talk Radio WZZN.
Well, there is another court case. This just happened just within the last hour. United States Court of Appeals of the 10th Circuit has granted the NCAA's request to stay the recent class action lawsuit in Colorado that granted the 22 class recruits a 5th year of eligibility. According to documents, 22 athletes who have exhausted 4 years of eligibility this past spring are now ineligible unless they have their own temporary restraining order or injunction, which does apply. It does apply to the 16 players named in a Louisiana case who are still eligible, and they are indeed granted a temporary restraining order. Goodness gracious. Welcome to 2026 in college football. There is a lot of money out there. And listen, I'm not saying that these kids shouldn't be paid, but they are chasing the almighty dollar. In a big way. When will then be now? Soon. We'll find out. We'll all find out. Found out over the weekend, Alabama naming Keelan Russell as their starting quarterback. Also, Florida has named their starting quarterback, John Summerall.
The good news is both of them have elevated their play, and love both of them, fired up about both of them, and grateful for both of their approaches as we've gone through this. But Philo will get the lion's share of the reps with the ones as we kind of start to try to create cohesion within our football team to get ready for game one.
So stuff that stuck out to me for the first year Gator head coach is he's starting to let you know what he really thinks about his squad.
What's interesting, though, is the first drive in the red zone, we got a third down situation, and we should have a stop on 3rd and long. and we get a face mask on the defense, and that gives them the first down, and they score a touchdown. We should have made them kick it a field goal, and a defensive miscue extended the drive. And then that's what becomes the touchdown. Well, you can't shoot yourself in the foot. Florida can't beat Florida. We're not good enough to have that many miscues and overcome it right now. And so the Gators can't beat the Gators, and on defense Saturday, we beat ourselves.
So hearing that, it does make me think of how exotic are the Florida Gators really going to be if I'm hearing stuff like that out of the Gator head football coach. But we'll find out. To Tennessee, the Vols with their quarterback announcement.
There's not just one instance. First of all, the entire group has worked and competed extremely hard. But I think something that sticks out is, we break in May for a few weeks of vacation, and he's in the building, whether that's in the weight room, whether that's in the video room, walking through things on the turf, in our indoor, working on fundamentals. That type of mentality, attitude is a tribute to him and his growth. That's why he's continued to grow as fast as he has.
Faison Brandon, or is it Brandon Faison? I think it's Faison Brandon is the starting quarterback, and that leaves George McIntyre as the backup.
Flip side of Faison, there's George. Obviously, I'm sure he's disappointed. What was just his reaction, your message to him, and where do you think his mindset is now?
Yeah, told those guys there's going to be one guy that's extremely excited, and there's going to be disappointment on some others. And I've been on both sides of that coin. But as we leave this room, it's important that you take where you're at, you continue to work and compete. You don't know when your number is going to be called. Whether it's week 1, week 12, whatever it might be. Unfortunately, I've had to play 3 in a game before, and, we're able to win because those guys were prepared. So that was the challenge that I gave to those guys as well.
I know an early matchup for Tennessee is traveling to Georgia Tech, and Tennessee fans are probably going to keep a close eye on next Thursday when Colorado travels to Georgia Tech. I've already played a little bit from Coach Prime and had a little bit to say on grabbing players out of the South to put on his roster. But Coach Prime does like his team, likes where they're at heading into game 1 against the Yellow Jackets.
Just wondering, short week next week, are you already in game week mode, like looking at Georgia Tech and scouting them out and so forth?
Yeah, we had a scout report. We have stages. We have deadlines. We have points that we got to hit. We're right where we want to be. I like where we are, and we're right where we want to be. Everything is on a timeline, and we're going to hit those marks strategically. And, we're going to practice that morning that we leave, have another walkthrough probably when we get there. So we're going to get our work in. And that's the main thing, just getting the work in and not making things too complicated where the kids got to think too much. Just let them play football and have fun while they're doing what they do.
It is mock game week down on the plains. It's also mock game week for several schools, and but I'm just hearing it more and more out of coaches coming out of their mouths of mock game week. And for Alex Golish, we have yet to really, as much as I can remember his time at Tennessee and around the program, didn't watch a whole lot when he was in charge at South Florida, and I think we all remember that team beating Florida last year. But in terms of time management and the almighty book, what really comes into mind for Alex Golish? Does he go off of gut?
The theoretical book. We use analytics like a majority of people do. We've got guys on both sides of the ball that help me on the analytics side throughout the game. We study the analytics heavy going into the game, meet throughout the week on situations ultimately in game, I would tell you it's really, really heavy gut on how the flow of the game is going. I think it's important to be ahead of it in the sense of offensively, your plan to go for it on fourth or not. Certainly, you do use, quote unquote, the book in terms of 2-point plays, in terms of how many drives you feel like you've got before you get into a 2-minute or a 4-minute situation. But in terms of in the flow of the game, especially offensively, the way you play, you better know what you're doing on second down before you ever get to fourth down, in the sense of the chances you're willing to take. A lot of it has to do with who you're playing. A lot of it has to do with the flow of the game. A lot of it has to do with how good you feel about your fourth down calls and your short yardage calls in general. It's different. It goes week to week. But I think you need to know going in what the thought process is. Your staff has to know what your thought process is. But ultimately, as you go through it, like I'll never stand up here and say, man, the book said to go for it. I don't know why we didn't get it. Because ultimately, I've said it before, but we could have a really good plan and we got to go execute it, because good plans executed poorly would be considered bad plans, Jason.
Jared.
All lived it.
Correct.
So there you go. A little bit of the book. He's never going to reference the book, but quite a bit of analytics. So it's kind of par for the course. If there is one storyline, Auburn fans, that you have probably heard probably ad nauseum over the past decade, it is the offensive line. Yes, the offensive line. So how are things shaping up, Coach Golish?
I feel like we got a group that's really, really tight right now. We've got a group that's worked incredibly hard to establish an identity. I feel like we've got a group that until we go play, truly go play, I don't know what the confidence level will look like. And I say that in the sense of you just went through 3 weeks of as crazy of practice as you can imagine. Like this defense forces you to be, one, super, super sound, but two, have adjustments and checks to just about everything, on top of some really good players up front. Like you got dudes rushing edges that if you're not confident in yourself, they'll make you question your talent level. And that's just the truth. Like, these edge rushers can do some really special things. I think our depth inside has really grown on the defensive front, so they challenge you. And so we've got a group that's really close. We've got a group that's trying to figure out exactly who they are in terms of they know what they want to be, but truly who they are. This week will be really good for us to go against a scout team to kind of get a really good feel going. And I don't mean to make it sound like the offensive line hadn't won their fair share of battles, because they have, but it's just getting ready to go play somebody else, I think, is a really, really good change up for them. And
that is a little bit of Alex Golish as Auburn getting ready for Baylor. One thing that I am going to do this week is dive a little bit more into scouting out the competition. There's a quarterback competition going on for East Carolina. There is also Batman involved for Baylor. I don't know if you remember hearing that from Dave Aranda earlier in the fall.
I'm Batman.
Yeah, that evidently there was a motivating factor of them climbing a hill there in Waco. Does Waco, Texas have a hill? I don't even know.
Yeah. It's hill country.
It is hill country?
As far as I know.
Okay. I haven't spent a whole lot of time in Waco.
Say anything with authority. People will believe you. I was the Michael Keaton Batman.
I was too. No, we're not completely done, even though you're hearing the music. We're going to take a timeout. And if you missed Coach DeBoer earlier today, it was really good insight. So you'll want to stick around and listen to the Crimson Tide head football coach next, right here on The Drive.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Friday Night Lights are back, Huntsville. And this season, the action at Chick-fil-A on South Parkway is just as sizzling. Score big with the all-new chicken and waffle sandwich. The perfect blend of savory, crispy chicken and sweet, fluffy waffles. And tackle your sweet tooth with the brand-new s'more milkshake packed with marshmallow, chocolate, and graham cracker goodness. Tune in each Friday night as Scott Tyson breaks down the biggest plays to bring you the official performance of the night. Brought to you by Chick-fil-A on South Parkway. Proud supporter of Friday Night Lights.
For over 50 years, our mission, do the right thing and make long-term decisions. We value our customers, and we invest in supporting them.
TLG is consistently adding services to our own technologies to automate and provide the best support possible to you.
We have the strongest guarantees in the industry. You can't just tell people you're going to provide good support. You have to prove it with your actions.
Attention Alabama bass fishermen. Bassmaster is bringing Alabama Bass Fest to Decatur, Alabama, September 11th through the 13th at Ingalls Harbor. This free, family-friendly event has something for everyone, from outdoor enthusiasts and anglers to students, families, and job seekers. Check out the Outdoor Expo featuring Bassmaster anglers, fishing seminars, boat demo rides, sponsor activities, casting challenges, Bassmaster events, food trucks, family activities, and more. Plus, don't miss the free youth bank fishing tournament on Saturday, along with the Bassmaster Youth Tournament on Sunday. Looking for a career? The Alabama Bass Fest Career Fair connects job seekers with employers, colleges, and workforce partners with hands-on experience and career opportunities across Alabama. It's 3 days of fishing, fun, education, careers, and the great outdoors. And admission is free. Join us September 11th through the 13th at Ingalls Harbor in Decatur. For more information, go to bassmaster.com/BassFest.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Fox 54 Weather Impact meteorologist Emily Owen. A quiet and warm night expected across the Tennessee Valley. Low temperatures will be falling into the mid-70s for this Monday night. We'll sit under a mostly clear sky. Heading into our Tuesday, temperatures warm up into the mid-90s for the afternoon. Expect to see mostly sunshine. Isolated showers and thunderstorms will be possible mainly in the afternoon.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
First of all, just good morning, you guys. And we had two good practices again. I think we've just consistently, had this kind of trend with our team. Energy, attitude, try to find those areas that we need to improve, and the guys being very intentional in addressing it. Went in the stadium yesterday, got some good work, trying to, with so many new players, make sure that that's our home territory, that's our home base, and that they're comfortable and it's a familiar setting for them. So that was our fourth time during camp, and that'll be our last. But today, just a ton of situations, and it's really for a lot of those times are the end of the moment, end of the game types of things, and you got to have quarterback offense on the same page, but then the defense can see what an offense would do against you. And we were great in those moments last year. And so, we had a great mindset going in, a lot of learning, but it was still a physical practice because that's what we got to make sure of this week, that we don't drop off a year ago for different reasons, some injuries and just other guys getting excessive reps because of injuries. Just the speed of things tailed off about this time. And, we just want to do everything we can to make sure that doesn't happen. Our guys, again, are being very intentional.
Coach, how did you tell Keelan this?
Well, yeah, well, we've always, I guess, I don't say always, because there's been a lot of meetings with quarterback competitions. I think there's been 12 or 13 I've been a part of. But I like to do it where they're both together. And so both guys are hearing the same thing. And Coach Grubb and Coach Ellis and myself, spending that time with them and just, making that announcement then. And, I think the thing I really wanted to tell those guys is that the way they've handled this point would hopefully be the same way they handle it moving forward. They've done it with class. I've seen, I really haven't been a part of it too much because I think we've handled it well over the years as a staff, and then again the integrity of your players and the first class, just kind of how your guys are as people, the character of your guys. I mean, I think that's what sets it, because behind the scenes they could be saying their things and doing their things with their teammates, and that's not the case with these guys. They kept it about the competition, and if anything, they supported each other above and beyond, and I'd expect that to be the case, and that's what it's looked like here these last 2 days.
What did Keelan do to win the job?
Well, I think, first of all, I'll just preface that every time you say these things about one guy, it feels like the other guy is not that. And we have 2 elite quarterbacks in my mind and 2 guys that you can go to battle with. I am extremely excited, though, with what, to answer your question, what Keelan can do, with this offense moving forward and what he brings to the table. Again, just focusing on Keelan's part, and what I think he's continued to do is he's continuing to feel comfortable with offense, the command of the offense, the execution. He's done a better job at the more and more reps, as you'd expect, taking care of the football, balancing that with the ability to still be explosive and not be too conservative. And so, I think both guys grew in those areas, but I'm just really excited to see what Keelan can do with the offense moving forward.
What kind of progress have you seen from Noah?
Noah's had the chance to get on the field the last few days, and going back to the spring game, 8A, when the injury happened, the timeline that he was on and what we expected, he is much ahead of that. And that's a tribute to his mindset, the positivity from the time he was diagnosed. He was still up here and just was not going to let it deter him from continuing to move forward and make the most of every day he could. And he's done that. Our team just celebrated him being back out here and moving around. He's not doing team drills or anything like that, but he's making a progression, and he's much ahead of schedule from what we originally thought.
What is next for Keelan in terms of development and what you want to talk about? It doesn't stop now, obviously, but what do you want to see from him?
Yeah, I think, the reason you like the timeline, and again, I wasn't married to it. You got to make the decision when you know you're ready and you feel good about it. And Keelan, now gets a chance for a couple weeks to work with, for the most part, the same set of guys. And I think that, just chemistry that you got to have with your skill guys and communication with your offensive line and that trust with the offensive line, the more reps, the better. And so I think that's part of it right now, but just keep going in the direction and the intentionality that he's had with all the things I just mentioned that he's improved on.
Coach, how have things settled at left guard and right tackle?
Left guard and right tackle. Javen has taken most of the reps at right tackle, but Nick Brooks continues to do a really good job of pushing hard, and he's a really good football player too. And so that competition will still always be there, but Javen has taken most of the reps there. And at left guard, Mal would have, especially the first part of camp, because Will had to work into things with his just modifications. Mal took most of the reps, if not all, with the ones, and Will's been able to work in there more. So, there is competition, and Will can play guard and guard, and so he takes some reps at both spots during the course of a practice.
What's been the message to Austin through this?
That I expect him to continue to just be elite in how he approaches everything. His car was, if not the first, one of the first here the next day. And it's just who he is. He's an extremely hard worker. I mean, this guy's a phenomenal quarterback. And to me, he didn't lose anything. He didn't fail in any way. We, had a really good quarterback in Keelan that we had to pick to win, and he won the job. And so, that's just like what I've told him. I said, this is tough stuff. This is grown man stuff. And he's never fallen off. He's never wavered about how he's going to approach things. He's a pro. He loves his team. He has a great relationship with Keelan, and he's been out there supporting him already. But it doesn't take away from the fact that, he's invested so much into it just as a human being, and the human aspect inside of it. It's going to hurt. And, he's going to be ready when he needs to be. A helmet comes off, he's got to be ready to make a play on a fourth down. And I wouldn't expect anything less from him, because that's who he is as a person, and he's a great football player too.
Kellen, are you guys considering trying to bring in anybody from the class of 22, as many of them are getting ruled out?
Mm-hmm. I mean, overall, in the general kind of how that works, Greg Burns, communicating with me and us about, just what we can and can't do. There's a possibility out there of someone that was on our roster in the past, but again, right now, that he wouldn't be able to come in and play. So I can't control that. Can't worry about that. Just got to see how things move forward and progress. You just never know each day in the world we're in right now what tomorrow might look like. And so, we'll kind of see as we go. But I know there's a lot of conference and national just figuring this thing out. And Greg Byrne continues to keep me updated on everything.
Just where do things stand at kicker and punter?
Kicker is extremely competitive right now. I'll just tell you, I'm not afraid to brag on these guys. They both kicked at the end of a 2-minute period yesterday. Went back to back. I gave both guys a shot from 58. Both of them hit it. And I think I've told you guys it isn't about distance. And yes, at some point they run. You only kick it so far, but it was really no doubters when they hit it. And these guys are competing, and they are battling, and they're, like I said all along, two extremely talented guys, and so that competition is still going. Punter, those guys are competing too, and so we're not ready to declare anyone in the specialists. We kind of got a timeline. I think it's a little different than the quarterback one, just because, yes, you got to work with your snapper and your holder as far as a field goal kicker, but the quarterback, to me, you'd love to have the more reps like we're going to get with Keelan and the full offense here in the weeks ahead.
How does Keelan like as a leader? What do you expect of him in that way?
He's got great poise. There's production. He's going to carry himself and do the work. To me, he's a great leader. I think both of our guys were, but I think Keelan has this presence about him that is just really impressive. We saw it when we recruited him out of high school, at a high level, doing his thing on the football field. Big moments that were never seemed too big for him. I think the guys believe in him, and so again, he's got a voice out there. He's not afraid to speak up and be vocal, and I think that's even going to be more so now that he's been named the starting quarterback. You can just feel when he's out there yelling out calls, trying to get guys lined up, pulling them in, whatever the situation is. It's him, and the guys all believe in him, and they're going to do what he says.
On that note, how have you seen the team respond the last 2 days to that?
Well, these guys, both of them, but then Keelan, since that's the question, Keelan's just already had that presence, and so the belief has built. And, the guys, I think, just pretty much knew we had to make a decision, and they were totally good with it. Again, I don't want to diminish Austin, but I also want to sell and tell you that these guys really, really believe in what Keelan's going to do and what his playmaking ability is, and how he can move our offense and our team forward and go compete for a championship.
Another guy who hasn't made the start yet. How does getting him prepared for that look similarly or different to what you had to do with Ty last year?
Oh, okay. With Keelan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know today would have been a great day. Yesterday we did some 2-minute again, and we got a number of those situations that we're setting up all week long. This week we'll filter in a little bit less, but some more again in game week. But today, the last part of practice, maybe not half, but the last third of practice was all these different scenarios that you're throwing at him, and getting him a chance to think under pressure, process the moments that we might be in, not just the moment, but what that call might be and the things we got to be thinking about, staying in bounds, getting out of bounds. It's good for the whole offense, but obviously your quarterback is the one that runs the show. So today was just one example of how we got to continue to develop and help him grow.
Can you give us an update on EJ and Lottie?
Lottie is out there practicing, taking reps, close to full go. And I guess he's been doing that for a few days now. EJ is slowly progressing. I'm hopeful that he'll be ready to roll for the first game. Can't say that definitively yet, but he was out there and working into it and progressing here, as we would have expected. Okay, Jeremiah did get hurt yesterday. We have an idea of what the injury is. I would wait to comment on it until we get a further just understanding, and that would probably be tomorrow. You bet. Thank you.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.